First of all, just wanted to go back to the Premier League key match incidents panel saying that you should have had a penalty against Arsenal. What's your reaction when you hear something like that?
I think it's football. It's never changed. You get decisions that go for you sometimes and they go against you. I think they're trying to correct it as much as they can on the day of the game. But I think we all thought it was difficult that they didn't go to VAR at the time. Why they didn't ever look at it at VAR. But it didn't happen, so we can't go back. We can't replay it again because of that. You hope that you get a few decisions go your way between now and the end of the season as well.
You've brought Harrison Armstrong back from his loan spell at Preston. Is there an opportunity there for him to ensure that you don't want to send him out on loan once you get players back anyway?
Well, there's an opportunity. If we bring him back and he does well, but the truth is I would like him to go back to Preston. I want Preston to get promoted. It's my old club and where I played and where I managed. So they're in a really good position, Preston. They're pushing for the playoffs. So I think it's been really good for him. I've watched him quite regular playing for Preston. He's doing a good job for them. And if things allow me, then I certainly will send him back because I think it's really good for his development, his education, where he's at this present time. But we need him at the moment, and if he comes in and does well, then we'll keep a hold of him.
I appreciate he's only been back a short while, but do you notice a difference in him? And you see that difference coming from that loan spell?
Well, we've only had him in for a day really since we've had him back, so we've not had him back much. But look, it's easy for him to settle back in, and this is his parent club, and it's easy that he comes in and gets involved with the players again.
Let's take a check on availability. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Michael Keane, Charlie Alcaraz. Chance for any of them?
Michael Keane's got a chance, but I would say the others don't have a chance now.
Okay, go back to James Garner, and we've spoken a lot about his England chances, but is there one hope for 2026 with regard to that he does finally get that England call-up?
I've said many times, I use it all the time, I wouldn't want to be picking the England team. I certainly wouldn't be as a Scotsman anyway, that's for sure. But I think Jimmy's playing as well as many or any midfield players in the country, but it's not for me to decide that or say that. It's for other people. So we're pleased with how he's playing for Everton, and that's the important thing.
James Tarkowski says that James Garner can do absolutely everything, and James himself said, I feel like I've got a responsibility now to kick on and be the one to make the difference. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing a player who's taking on that kind of responsibility?
Well, we've sort of asked him to, and maybe in the past he's not really been that sort of player. He's flittered in and out a little bit at different things, but I think now he's certainly taking on a more senior role within. We need it because we don't have Seamus Coleman around, we don't have Ashley Young from last year, senior professionals who are needed, so we need some other people to step up to the plate as well.
He obviously combined really well with Tierno Barry for that second goal against Nottingham Forest. With regard to Tierno, he said after the game they'd been watching videos of Lukaku. Was that his idea, your idea?
No, it's a great idea if he keeps scoring, that's for sure. And let's be fair, if he does anything like what Lukaku did in this country, or even for Everton, then we'll be highly delighted, that's for sure. But no, sometimes players do need a little bit of inspiration and looking for things which might make a difference to them. So he got another good goal for us in midweek and worked hard for us, so we were pleased about that.
11 points more at this stage of the season than last season, 59 points in 2025. A tally Everton have beaten just once in the calendar year since 2013. Mm-hmm. What satisfaction do you take from
that? I don't know if I take satisfaction. I think it's my job to do that and get as many points as we can. When you say it, it's nice to hear. But all you can ever think about is the next game and how we're going to get on in the next game and keep bringing in more points. But I think if you'd said to me when I came in, this is how it's going to be, you'll finish this out, I said, well, that'll be fantastic, because it would have shown that the club's made progress. We'd stayed up from the position we were in last year. We had moved to a new ground, and I think more importantly, at the time there was lots of bits not together. I definitely think the crowd are all together with the players. They were amazing at the game against Nottingham Forest. So all in all, I think there's a lot of good things. We're beginning to get that feeling again back at the club, and we want to try and build on it.
You say that feeling, does it feel like an identity back? Or?
Well, sometimes being the manager, you're not the right one to sort of say that. I can only tell you how I feel inside the training ground, how I feel with the players. I think the way they've gone about their jobs in the games has showed that they're committed, they're determined to try and get back to a better level than we've been. none of us enjoyed. I certainly didn't enjoy coming and taking over Everton where I did it then, mid-January, whenever it was last year, because every week you were worried, am I going to be going down or am I going to be staying up? So I didn't like that feeling, and I told the players that I wasn't going to do this club if that's the way it was going to be. I was only going to do it if we were progressing in challenging near the top. So we've got a lot to do. You could lose 2 games in this league and you could be near the bottom. You could win 2 games and you could be getting talked in glowing terms. So it's a bit early for that, but I hope that we can keep it going and keep hanging in amongst it February, March time, and then we can try and see what we can do in the final furlong.
Well, that's it, because you're currently a couple of points off 5th place, and in the last few years or so, when it's got to January, it's been about bringing in players to help in a relegation battle. But now the talk around the club is whether you can supplement your squad to spearhead a charge for Europe. Does that make it more difficult to move?
No, but the truth is we're actually really our squad at the moment's really short, and we've got a lot of injuries. Which we had a great result in midweek, but let's be fair, we've not got enough players at the moment, and we're really short. So we've got to either get them back from injury or back from the AFCON, and we've brought Harrison Armstrong back, as we've talked about already. We're finding ways of supplementing the squad at the moment, and we'll need to do that to try and get through this busy period.
Do you think you're going to be able to add to the squad this month?
I think if we found the right players and the players we want, we could do so. I think the club, the board have all been really supportive and saying yes, but I think finding the right players is the hard bit.
I know we talk about every game being a difficult game in the Premier League, but this is obviously a game against Brentford which can determine league position as well, given the proximity of the two sides.
Yeah.
I just wonder what you think of the job as well that Keith Andrews is doing, following an act like Thomas Frank, who you know very well.
Well, I have to say I think Keith Andrews done a great job, because Brentford, to be fair, are a really settled club, a really good club. Got themselves well established in the Premier League. Thomas Frank done unbelievably there, but the club itself has done a great job in putting himself in that position. Keith Andrews has taken over and stepped in and done the job so well. So you're right about the points. You could, as I said, you could win one, you could be up a few places, you could lose one, you could be down. So it's so tight at the moment, it's hard to call.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go to Fraser at Premier League Productions.
Just following on from Tieno Barry, you've talked a lot about how pleased you are with the work that he's done, but is it just that little extra now to see some more goals coming in that would make him a lot happier, would make you a lot happier?
Well, if you're going to be a centre forward, you need to score more than 2 goals. That's for sure. So we need more goals. I say it in every press conference at the moment that we like him. He's improving, but goals will always probably be what we're going to have to judge you by. So if he could go on a run, and I remind when I came in this time last year, Beto went in a great run of goals, which probably kept us up, and he done great. So I'm hoping Tierney or Beto will be the ones who go on a great run of goals and get us goals in 5 or 6 games on the trot. That's the plan, or hopefully.
And you've talked a lot about the character, particularly in the Forest game, given the lacking in numbers that you've got at the moment. Is that all entirely down to the players themselves, that show of character, or are there things that you can do as manager to try and foster that?
Well, you hope that we can foster it, in the daily work we do and the way we go about with dealing with the players. But I think when you've got good characters, as you know, we've got a lot in the team who can do it. Sometimes they've been resilient in games where we've not expected them. We've had some amazing away results this season, but if I think back to last season, with probably a lesser team than this season, some of the away results last year were terrific as well. So we've kept it going. I hope we can do it. I hope we can try and keep doing it in the remaining away games we've got this season as well.
Thanks, Fraser. We'll go to Ian at Radio Merseyside.
Hi, David.
Hi, Ian.
Excuse me. Can I just check on Jack? He came on obviously the other night. Is he sort of fully past the illness that he had recently?
He's much better. He looks much better. He's looks a lot fresh on the face and sharper, but he had a really bad illness, and it affected him, sickness and all the other stuff that come with it. So he's looking a bit better now and certainly back in training.
And I know you've talked about being a bit light on numbers, but when you look at people like Nathan Patterson and Merlin Roll and Tyler Dibbling who've come in, how pleased have you been that those players have been able to come in and do a job for you?
Yeah, I'm pleased, but I did expect them all to come in and be able to do jobs. I think talking about them and adding them to the numbers is different. We needed them to make the numbers up because of the sort of the numbers we've got out at the moment. But no, they all came through that game really well, done well. But Tyler's coming on. As we said, he's a bit younger than the others. So Merlin's really just coming back from an injury and still getting used to coming here. So pleased with how they performed.
Thanks, Ian. Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No? Okay. Thank you.